Okay.
All right.
All right. So, story. So this one happened to me when I was at Luke Air Force Base. I was working. There's three shifts when you work. You either work morning shift where you basically launch and recover aircraft. There's um, swing shift, which is basically all you do is repair the broken aircrafts that come back from the day shift, and then there's a thing that's called mid shift. And what mid shift would do would you would basically service tire pressure, you would refill liquid oxygen bottles, check oil, and make sure everything was just in tip top shape in terms of the things that you need to maintain on the jet for the jet to be able to fly and kill people. So
You said
one
kill people?
well, that's our mission, right? That was our mission, was to make sure that these jets were flight operational, because the job of these jets is to go out and kill things, right? Air
Okay,
support,
to
right?
make sure.
Air power,
You're
right?
missing someone.
I mean, that's what we do. We oh, hold up, who are we missing? We're missing Bursted. Hold up,
Me.
here, let me invite you. And so my job as a crew chief was to do the liquid oxygen, hydraulic fluid, things of that nature, right? But at the same time, avionics and weapon systems people would work on loading bombs, checking radar calibrations, things like that. So the way that it works is the bombs that they put on these jets when they're doing like their test runs, they're like 2-3,000 pound bombs. They're heavy as a mofo, right? So what the bombs do is they're like a meter long, right? Because they're practice bombs. They're phosphorus bombs specifically made to hit the ground and leave a big white mark, so it lets the pilots know, hey, I hit the mark that I was supposed to hit, right? It's a visible mark. So the way that it works is the way they would transport these bombs is they would transport them on what's called a skate mount. So it's basically as you would expect. It looks like a big roller skate with two wheels, all right? One wheel, when you rotate it to the right, it makes the front of it go up, and when you rotate the one on the left, it makes the rear of it go up. So you have to make sure you rotate these wheels at the same time. Otherwise, it would become lopsided, and the ordnance could fall off, right? So one day I'm sitting down and I'm actually putting liquid nitrogen in. I'm putting nitrogen into a tire, and when off in the distance I hear boom, like a huge crash, and I was like, what the fuck was that? Because it's like 2 in the morning, right? Like, I'm like, what the hell is that? You know, it just echoes. And I look to my left, and you see this guy running across the flight line, like hop, skipping, and jumping, like he's like hopping on one foot. I'm like, what the hell happened to this guy? Apparently, he wasn't paying attention. He was raising the bomb unevenly. It fell off the skate mount, landed on his foot. 2,000 pound bomb landed on his foot. Dude, he landed in the grass. We had to cut his boot off with a knife. And his foot swelled up like 3 times the size of a normal foot.
Ooh.
Oh,
Dude, it was the nastiest, ugliest thing I'd ever seen in my life. And so the funny thing was, anytime someone would get hurt, they would have to go, because even though you're hurt, you still have to show up to work, right? But since you couldn't do maintenance work on the jets, you would have to be in the office. So they would put you behind the snack bar. So that was almost like the pedestal of shame. So there he was for like 3 months behind the snack bar with a big old cast on his foot, giving people snacks.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. And he's lucky that that bomb didn't go off. Like, for real, for real.
damn.
Oof.
Carissa said this is happy.
Yeah, no, there's a couple of other little interesting things that happened when I was working on the flight line. I already told the one about where I got blown over by the jet and got my hair burned off. And there's another one where I got like chunks of flesh were scraped off, burns happened, glass exploded. There's various stories that have happened.
Ow.
That sounds like pain.
Yeah, it's a big deal, man. I mean, you're thinking, oh yeah, you're just a maintenance guy, but think about it, man. When you work on that jet, and you tell a pilot this jet is safe to fly, and it's not, and they go into the air and something happens, and if that pilot dies, the first thing they're gonna do is they're gonna look at those forms, and they're gonna look at the crew chief that worked on that jet, and they're gonna say, why did you sign this jet off as being safe when blah 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 wasn't safe? You know what I mean?
Don't they take liability for it?
Oh,
They actually
absolutely.
get charged?
Oh yeah. Hell yeah, dude, you will get you will go to jail, dude.
Damn.
Yeah, man, it's no joke. And if you think about it, the same thing applies to commercial jets, man. You got crew chiefs that work on those jets as well.
What kind of like service?
Hey, what up, Playboy? How you doing, sir?
What kind of like certification do you need to do that?
You get what is what you would consider a community college of the Air Force degree in that field of study. So you would do 6 months of cold training, which is you working on broken jets for about 6 months, right? And then you would do what's called hot training, and that would be you working on live jets for 6 months, and then they would send you to whatever your permanent duty station is. So you would essentially work on these jets for a year before you're actually doing something that's fully operational and mission capable. So
Dang.
yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. They want to make sure you actually know
Yeah,
what you're doing.
yeah, and it's one of those things where, like, you're thinking, when you're in basic training, they'll tell you fold these shirts a certain way, and then they'll yell at you for folding a shirt, right? And then you're like, well, what's the big deal? Why do you care if a shirt isn't folded the right way? And the mentality that they put into you is like, if you can't fold a simple shirt the way we're asking you to, how can I expect you to work on a multi-million-dollar piece of equipment that depends on that a pilot depends on? You know what I mean?